welcome back to Clutch Time. Today we are doing a special edition show where we're looking at championship games. And so we're looking at the first game that's getting ready to take place here in an hour. First, we'll be coming back talking about the next game later. But the first game set to take place here, we got number 25 Jackson State University versus number 8 Memphis. You got Jackson State University that is going to be on the road in this game against Memphis. And so we're going to be looking at just the keys to this game. We're going to be looking at both teams, what they have to do, and just the overview, like what are the things that you want to look out for this game. And so let's go ahead and start with just the first couple keys that you want to look for going into this game. And so I think that the first thing is going to be points. I feel like that there are going to be a lot of points scored in this game. In fact, looking back at the two meetings that these teams have already had, both teams have got a win in each meeting. So they've met twice, both teams getting a win. And so Memphis won the first meeting against Jackson State University 91-84 there. And then next, Jackson State University came back. They get their revenge. They win 84-73, but the points are going to be scored between both of these teams. And so next, it's going to be about the others. And so that is going to be something that I think is a theme for both teams. It's not going to be about the star power. It's going to be about what they're going to get from the other players. And this is that time of the year where you need your role players to step up. We talk about this often on SWBA Today, especially just giving you an example with the Indiana Pacers, how critical that is when you have other players aside from your stars that can go out and help you win basketball games. You need that when you're getting into a tournament style of play, because now teams, they're not having to worry about a long schedule. They're only preparing for you. Now, it is a short turnaround, but that can be something that can slow down the star power in these games. And so that is going to be the key for today's game. It's going to be points, and it's also going to be which team's role players are going to step up. And so let's look and just start to look at now team by team, and let's start with Memphis and what they do well and some of the things that you want to look for here. And so with Memphis, they're terrific at scoring the basketball. They do not have a problem with putting the basketball in the goal. In fact, they are second in the country in scoring the basketball at 70.9 points per game. And then the assist, they're terrific at distributing the basketball. 15.4 assists places them fourth in the country. And so this is an unselfish team, and they know how to move the basketball and make you pay. And so that is point number one. Penny Hardaway has coached this unit up very well, and they will cut you up there on the offensive end. And so next, you want to look for the star power here. And so the star power for Memphis is going to be Lace Darius Outlaw. And so if you don't know him or you have not got a chance to see him play, he's expected to be a lottery selection. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think that the broadcast team is probably going to be talking about that a lot, but he is an elite offensive perimeter scorer. He's a combo guard, so he can score from either position. And look, he has the size as well, so that is not going to be the issue. Very gifted scorer. He's coming into this game averaging 19 points a game, 19.1 points per game, 4.5 assists per game, and 1.2 steals a game. And so this is a guy that can do a lot of different things to help the Memphis Grizzlies win. I think one of the issues with him is going to be the turnovers, which could ultimately cost the Memphis Grizzlies the game, but we'll talk about that in a moment. So next, I think as far as the X factor for the Memphis for Memphis is going to be KB Mack. And so I think that KB Mack, 6'10 senior, he's going to be huge. And so he's a captain here, averaging 10.5 points a game. But I think that he is going to be counted on as far as defense and rebounding, because if Memphis is going to win this game, those are the two things that they are going to have to do. And I think that it starts with him. KB Mack is going to literally have to be a defensive anchor for this team and really, just help this team along with Ladarius Outlaw. So those are the things that are Lace Darius Outlaw, between those two players are what you're going to want to look for with the Memphis Grizzlies. And so next, looking at Jackson State University. And so coming into this, I think that one of the key things that you want to look out for is just it's Jackson State's university, and it's their ability to defend, and it's their ability to really I think make the game muddy. And so let's start with the fact that they're a gritty team and they get a lot of block shots. And so currently they're 15th in the country with block shots at 3.3 blocks a game. So they do a terrific job as far as using their athleticism and their length to get you that way. And it's interesting because they run a 2-3 zone defense. And so, for them to get the blocks that they do, it's pretty incredible out of the zone. And so next, another thing that they do well is they're terrific at playing the passing lane. And so 9.1 forced turnovers a game. So that's 15th in the country. And so you're top 20 in some pretty, big defensive categories. And next, another thing that they do well is they're terrific as far as getting to the boards. 31.4 rebounds a game. That's good enough for 10th in the country. And so if you're familiar with SWBA and looking at the Houston Rockets, that's one of the things that they do well is they hit the boards. This is exactly what Jackson State University does. As soon as the shot goes up, you could probably, just feel another player that is right behind you ready to go up for the rebound. That's just how relentless they are as far as getting to the boards. And lastly, just talking about how this team can make it difficult for you offensively. Currently, they only allow opponents 21% shooting percentages from the arc. And so they're terrific as far as just getting up on the perimeter, making three-point shots difficult, as opponents are only hitting 21% of their threes there. That's good enough for 4th in the country. And so you're going to see a very gritty type of defensive effort, from Mo Williams and this team out there. So be looking for that. As far as their star, it's going to be D. Woodley. And so D. Woodley, if you have not got a chance to see him, a very gifted guard. He's 5'11" now. And look, I know he doesn't have a lot of size, but man, he has great speed. He's got terrific ball handling, and he's terrific as far as just being a shot creator. So his bag is deep with how he can get it done. And so he's averaging 17.3 points per game, 3.6 assists per game, a steal a game as well. So be looking for him. They'll be talking about him as, again, he could be a lottery selection as well, depending obviously on what happens, after, the season and everything else. But, the X factor here for the Memphis Grizzlies, one of those is going to be, I think, Roy Mason. And so Roy Mason is a guy that I think that you should be looking for as maybe being an impact in this game. And so he's a 6'6", 221 sophomore. And I just think that with his the way that he's able to slash, his athleticism, his strength is probably going to be big for this team. And so be looking for him to be an X factor there. He needs to improve a little bit more as a jump shooter, but the energy is going to be there. Next up, Rizzo Bryant. He's another guy that I think you should absolutely look for. I think that he is definitely going to be a factor in this game. 6'5" freshman, playing pretty well. And I just think that with him, his ability to knock down jump shots and things like that, that's going to help this team as far as spacing is concerned. And you're going to need that against the Memphis Tigers. And then, lastly, I think just one of the reasons why I like the Memphis Grizzlies, or not the Memphis Grizzlies, one of the reasons why I like the Jackson State Tigers versus the Memphis Tigers is this. I think that Jackson State, what they have is they have the ability to put pressure on the rim. And so what I'm saying here is that they averaged they were 6th in the country as far as dunks were concerned. So 214 dunks, 428 points generated. So this team does a terrific job as far as really putting pressure on your interior defense. And I'm not sure that is something that Memphis is going to be ready for. I think that they're going to be able to get to the rim. I think that they're going to be able to attack the rim there. And I just think defensively, I like Jackson State University a lot more than I like Memphis. The points are going to be there, but I'm going with Jackson State University for the upset tonight. And so let me know in the comments here what you guys are thinking. Do you feel like that it is going to be the Memphis Tigers that are ultimately going to win this game? Or do you feel like, no, it is going to be Jackson State University that is going to win this game? And so I'd love to hear what your comments are. And as we always say, see the game, be the game. We'll be talking a little bit later about San Diego State University versus UNLV. And so enjoy the game, and we'll see you on the next one. All right. Peace.